and it was Jesus's aura in my father. And my father was about 30 years old, or 33, same age as Jesus. But my father, when he died, was about 67 or something like this, and he was pretty ill. And so I saw him in this immaculate realm, and the message was that he's with Jesus. He and Jesus have become one, like Jesus says. And he wasn't religious at all. But the message was, you don't have to worry about me. I'm with the Father. I'm the Father one. So again, in my book, I'm speaking about this in the finest of details. So that was another incredible out of this world experience that I had, which was like bizarre because, like I say, my father was absolutely in his prime, similar age to Jesus, disposition to Jesus, small beard and long black curly hair. My dad used to have in his 70s, denim shirt, walking barefoot with his palms facing forward, like pictures we'll see on Jesus, completely open, and to receive cosmic spirit. So
that's impressive, and it's rare. It's rare. I mean, if he didn't do anything special.
No, I did nothing. This happened about 7 days after he died.
What was he? Was he like helping people in some way?
No. He was embittered. He was reclusive. He was an alcoholic, and he'd never been evangelical or charitable in his life. He loved his family, and he fended and supplied his family very, very well. But then in the latter days of divorce and embitterment, then he just went into alcoholism and different sorts of medications, and made him very ill. So it's super bizarre why I was the only one out of 11 brothers and sisters. There's 12 of us that had any experience like that, and that was even before I was actually on the path. I believe probably it wasn't. No, because he's probably only been dead about 10 years now. So, but yeah, I mean, these things that I've experienced, they are super more real than real. And they're super spiritual, they're super connected, and I don't know, they just give rise to a lot of questions.
Well, so from my point of view, it's I would not believe, no matter how real it looked like, I would be careful. So I wouldn't reject, I wouldn't think that's an illusion, but I also wouldn't necessarily believe that this was really my father, because the probability is very low. There must have been a karmic background, some really deep background, if this would happen, because it's well, so normally most people do not reach states higher than the astral plane. Maybe they get into the causal plane sometime, yes, sooner or later, sometime, but just for a short time. Most people are in the astral plane, no matter, even if they were the best Christians and like praying all over their life and whatever. So,
well, I was reading one excerpt in the Second Coming of the Christ this afternoon, and there was an excerpt where Yogananda speaking about Christ on the cross, speaking to the people, or the two persons on his left and on his right. And one of them says to the Christ, you're the Christ, why can't you, get us out of this mess, or something like that. And Jesus' words, something to the effect that, it's the will of the Father. And then this criminal, said to Jesus, "But you have done nothing wrong. Why are you being crucified? We deserve to be crucified because we're heinous criminals." And then just before Jesus passed, it is said that he said, "Don't worry, because you'll be coming with me."
Yes, of course.
Have you heard about that? Are you familiar with that bit?
It's a very well-known story.
Right. Yes.
Every Christian
How do
knows
we
this.
account for that then? How do we account for somebody who didn't pray and believe and follow Jesus? He was a criminal, so he's doing all the wrong things, and yet he already, just had his ticket into heaven just like that.
It's the grace of the Master. The Master can do this. The true Master, like the God-like Master.
But what I'm saying is, if it was good enough for some common criminal, then why couldn't my Father have been lifted there as well?
Well, it's possible, but it's not normal. It's not regular.
And maybe it wasn't my Father, because I never had the impression it was my Father. I had the impression it was Jesus coming to me, give me the message of I and the Father are one. Basically saying that when we die, we go back to source, and the source is Jesus.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, right, yes. I get that. That makes sense.
For example, there's a thing. So if God wants to give you a message in a dream, then he might show up yourself as your father, as your physical father.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, but it's him, and he hopes that you will understand that this means that it is him. It's
God or Jesus.
Yes, that it's God or Jesus. I mean, it depends on your belief, of course.
Yeah.
Basically,
I had no belief. I had no leaning at